Uh, Hi everyone, my name is Anshul. I am a faculty of quality working with the KSG, and I welcome you all in this insightful webinar named Parikshan. Parikshan means that you need to identify where you are heading towards in whatever field you are going for. And for that matter, if we are dealing with the best minds of that field, then we are lucky here to have Dr. A.R. Khan sir, Director of Khan Study Group, KSG. He has an illustrious career of an educator, uh, starting from the Delhi School of Economics. He has been a beacon light of hope for so many aspirants, for guiding them so that they can reach their path of success. And he has been a catalyst of inclusivity since the footprints of KSG can be seen from Srinagar to Bangalore, from Jaipur to Manipur. So I am thankful, sir, that your immeasurable hard work behind the doors has been something redefining landscape for the KSG and the UPSC aspirants in particular. I have also one of, I won't say a guest because she and Dr. Khan both are our own. Madam Srushti, she is an IS officer, Civil Services Examination 2018 topper, female topper. I don't know, but there might be something extraordinary in her that she scored a whooping 470 marks in general studies. I need to check it twice, thrice that she has done something extraordinary. That's why she has scored that much of marks. Also, she's trying her hat in new areas. She is established writer. The uh, perfectly fine book. I have gone through that. The answer writing manual. Right now, the chief executive officer working with the Zilla Panchayat Burhanpur. We are glad, madam, that you have connected for the welfare of students and I would like to ask Dr. Khan to say a few words to the students. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. Anshul, for the kind words, and thank you, Srushti, in particular, for taking time off from your busy schedule. I'm sure the students who are listening to us at the moment live, they are very keen in listening to you in particular. I would definitely consider extremely fortunate to have spent some time with you as part of your preparation journey, seeing you evolve through the entire process. So I feel very fortunate being a witness to the evolution that you had as an engineer coming and then writing an examination and then getting a score which is looks like for most of the people it's like a double check event. I mean, that's what Mr. Anshul was talking about. I pardon me for my throat a bit. I would like to just keep a couple of things before I basically hand over the scheme to Srushti. I, I thought of calling you madam, but I couldn't really do that. I'm sorry, it's coming, Srushti, and you would always remain the same person for me. I hope you are okay with it. But then I thought there are a couple of things which people should be doing. One is like before writing answers and after writing answers. Answer writing she's going to talk about. So before writing answer, one thing I like you to all of you do. A lot of intricacies are there in the question. I suppose understanding the question to my mind is a very vital component. I hope you all understand that the question is set by a generation which is very different from your generation. It's set by my generation, my background, my education, my experience. Everything is so disconnect with you. So when I'm asking something, when I have a question, what is my demand? Quite often that is an issue which people don't spend time enough to do. They just think that writing answer is going to be all what they need to be doing. I like all of you who are listening to me, spend enough time in discussing the question. Discuss the question with your mentors, with your friends, with your colleagues, with your seniors, with your guide as to, hey, what is this question is demanding? Because to my understanding, most of the time, you do not understand what the question demands. The question has got a lot of delicacies in them. A hyphen can make a big difference in the question. What is the socio-economic challenge of poverty is different from what a social and economic challenge of poverty. It's like, I mean, it's an entirely different question. A hyphen has made a big difference. I suppose a singular and plural word makes a difference. You have got the flow of the question basically affects the part sensitivity, and everything that is there in the question quite often is not the question. So I would like you to basically spend time in understanding the demand of the question. Command words, I think that's something which a lot of people mix up. And I feel so fortunate, and I really thank Srushti for sharing her book with me, the answer writing manual. Imagine that somebody has worked so hard in writing answer that ends up in a total, full, big, thick book. And then, and so meticulously she has gone about it, writing about possible questions that you have at the end, and when of the question, when you should write what kind of question, how many essays you'll be writing, and when you should be writing essay, when you should be taking tests, all those things, and how these command words are different. She has beautifully explained in that book. And I think, to my understanding, this is a must-have kind of thing for all the aspirants who are listening to me or probably who can get connected to. This is a beautiful text. But my point ultimately here I was talking about is that you should, before writing answer, spend time on understanding the question. And the second thing, once you have written the answer, I suppose there should be a unique way to go about it. I suppose you write an answer and let somebody read only introduction of your answer. And just by reading the introduction, they should be able to guess the topic on which the question has been asked. So just do one thing, hide the question, hide the answer, just expose the introduction and let somebody guess that on what topic this answer is written. The introduction has to be that powerful. And also hide the question, hide the introduction, hide the conclusion. And then the body should let somebody know that what is the command word in the question. Is it being discussed or being elaborated or substantiated or evaluated or critically analyzed? That command word flavor should be reflected in the body of the answer. And let question be closed, introduction be closed, body be closed. Let somebody read the conclusion. And then after the conclusion, somebody knows that on what direction this question is actually, what is the direction that question is showing. Because there are a lot of things which are not part of the question, still it is expected from you because we have an expectation in our mind that I'm reading an answer who is a future bureaucrat. So that reflection is coming in that conclusion or not is very vital. So I have only decided that I would take this screen to share with you only these dimensions, like what goes on before writing answer and what happens after writing answer and how to write a beautiful answer, what all aspects that you should be covering. I suppose we have got Srushti around, and she would definitely take you through those the nuances and the finer points of the answer writing. And I would be signing out. And then I have requested her, and she has agreed kindly to take you through those, what we call it as some question and answers that you have got, which you have collected from those who wrote on the YouTube channel. And then those things will be also taking up here towards the end. I think with a deep sense of gratitude to you, Srushti, I think I would like to sign off and thank you for taking the time off and addressing the audience across the country who have joined us from all parts, almost all parts of the country. Over to you, and thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. And thank you for your kind words. Thank you for the gracious words of Anshul sir also during the introduction. I would be carrying forward the session on answer writing. Sir gave you a brief overview about how exactly you should be looking at answer writing when you are, how the framing of questions is different, how you need to identify each and every part of the question. All these points are extremely important. So there are a couple of things I have noted down, which I would like to share with you all today. Um, First thing regarding answer writing is that you need to finalize your sources. It is both for the static as well as your current affairs part. So, finalize the sources from where you are going to study, whether it is your NCRT books, your reference books, your notes, and for the whether it is in the current whether in the current affairs part, it is some newspapers or some handouts that you're reading. So, first of all, finalize the sources that you're going to read. After you have done that, don't wait for the moment that you will finish the entire syllabus and only then you will start writing answers. Okay, so don't wait that once I have finished that topic, once I have finished that book, once I have finished that subject, only then I will be able to start. The thing with answer writing is that whenever we face a question, we feel that we don't know much about it. हमें तो इसके बारे में ज़्यादा पता नहीं है. जब पूरा पढ़ेंगे उसके बाद लिखना शुरू करेंगे. But that is the trick. You should be writing. You should be starting to write answers just as when you have a basic knowledge about that subject or a basic knowledge of that topic. If you have understood that, if you have read that, please go into starting to write that answer. Answer writing is like an art, and if it is an art, then you will have to practice it. So, the more early you start writing answers, and this has been my own personal experience. Um, I started writing answers very early, like in KSG when I was taking the course. Along with that, we have a daily answer writing that happens. So, power writing it is called, and different other things are done. So, we were given like a daily question to write. Initially, we would have not read completely about that topic, or we would feel that we don't have the full knowledge. But it is more important to attempt that question, and only then, with practice, you are able to improve on that. So, first thing is finalize your sources. Second, start the answer writing just as you've done. Now, what exactly to write? So the first thing which sir had touched. Yes. So the first thing which sir had touched before was read the question properly. Read the question twice. In the UPSC question, you have different parts that you need to see. The first thing is what is the theme of the question? What exactly is the background theme which the question is talking about? But there might be that there is a background theme, but the question is about some other pinpointed topic. So you need to understand the background theme, and then you need to understand what is the proper focus point of that question. After identifying that, maybe that the background of the question is say something about geography, something about Indian geography, but the pinpointed thing that they have asked is about a volcano, about what is the scientific process behind that. And then there will be a command word that will be evaluate, explain. So, all these command words, you should be able to understand there are subtle differences between them. बहुत ही छोटे differences होते हैं कि आप explain में क्या लिखते हैं और आप describe में क्या लिखते हैं. लेकिन दोनों का weightage important है. You need to understand very clearly कि आपको different command words में exactly क्या content लिखना है. Then I come to another three. Again, I will divide the answer writing into three parts. First is the structure, then is the content, and the third is the presentation. When we are talking about the structure of an answer, you all know that the basic structure of any answer for that matter is the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Now, all these three parts are very crucial, no matter if it is a 10 marker or it's a 20 marker, right? तो कोई भी किसी भी टाइप का अगर क्वेश्चन आप फेस कर रहे हैं, यू नीड टू मेक Yes. So there are these. We were discussing about the three parts. The introduction में कोई भी, whether it's a 10 marker or it's a 20 marker, you need to make sure that all these parts are there in your answer. Introduction में you should always there are multiple ways of writing an introduction. If you think there is some aspect in the question which can be defined, so you can start by defining that particular concept. You may also start by giving some data point in that question which you think is relevant to that. Say, for example, if they have asked about something about pollution and you have some data, some statistics from the National Pollution Control Board of India, or you have some international report. So, those are the things which you can add in the introductory part. And then you can begin the body. Now, the body of the answer depends on what all different parts are being asked in that question. जो भी आपका क्वेश्चन है हो सकता है उसमें 2 से 3 पार्ट्स हों. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि we focus on only one single part, but the second part also carries marks. So make sure that you have read what are the different parts of that particular question and you are able to answer that one by one in the structure. And then when you finally are concluding, you can either give your opinion or you can try and reconcile the different points that you have opened up in your question. That was about structure. Then we come to the content of an answer. Now, content is the most important pillar of your answer, right? Whatever argument, it consists of the arguments that you have to give, it consists of the facts that you're going to tell. Now, this content you will be able to build by the knowledge that you read. जो भी आप books पढ़ेंगे, additional आप newspapers पढ़ेंगे. Here is where your newspaper content. So newspaper is like the current affairs part. उसका ना what you can do, what I used to do, कि मैं अलग से कुछ ऐसे इन न्यूज़पेपर्स व्हाट आई यूज्ड टू डू, जो अलग से फैक्ट्स या फिर कोई भी रिपोर्ट्स, कोई इंटरनेशनल रिपोर्ट के बारे में बताते हैं, या फिर इफ देयर सम कमिटी which came out of some report, or there is some important Supreme Court judgment which was delivered by the Supreme Court. So all those things can be noted down in a separate folder. Now these are like the add-ons. So I really call this the salt of answer writing. I call it salt because this is supposed to be used not much and not less. If you add these additional points in your answer, it not only improves your content, but it also improves your presentation. So you can note down these things, and when you get these compilations of current affairs, there also you can find this. But if you are reading the daily newspaper, you can yourself note down these things because that will also help in your memory. If अगर आपने एक बार उसको लिख करके देख लिया तो आपको ज़्यादा वो चीज़ याद रहती है. So you can make your own notes for that. And the final part of the answer writing, which is the presentation, is very crucial. This is important because imagine that the examiner who's checking your copies, he is checking 20, 25, 30 other copies on that same day as well. So what is it that will make your answer stand out from the entire bundle? That will be your presentation. And presentation not just it not includes it doesn't include only the the writing. It's not like आपकी cursive writing होनी चाहिए बहुत ही beautiful. It's not like that. Your presentation includes legible, clear handwriting, and the content can be presented in a maybe a presentable manner. Now what does that mean? Say for example अगर differences है, so you can clearly divide the page and explain it in clear manner, or you can also use certain flowcharts. You can use or you can use certain flowcharts, or you can use certain diagram, or you can also use certain map. So what I did and what a lot of people do is we learn to draw the map of India very quickly in say just 2 5 seconds. So what that does is it can help you locate a lot of things which you are going to show in your answer. So ये जो छोटी छोटी चीज़ें होती हैं ये आपके पूरे आंसर के कंटेंट को, आंसर के प्रेजेंटेशन को इम्प्रूव करती हैं. And all of these things जैसे जो मैंने आपको बताया that you start with the structure, then you improve your content, then you go for the presentation. All this is not going to come in a day, and the initial answers are going to be very bad. So when you start your answer writing, prepare yourself for bad answers. Your 51st answers, your 101st answers are going to be bad. When I started writing the test series finally nearby to my mains, I compared my answers with what I had started, say, a year or a year and a half ago. And I realized that my initial answers were terrible. I wouldn't get any marks for that. But it is because of that terrible answer that I had written initially that I could actually reach to the level of getting some good marks in that answer. So don't fear your bad answers. Make sure that you overcome that writer's block and you start writing. And and also understand that the initial answers are going to be bad. So how you will get better at answer writing is only with practice. Practice is the key, and there is no way out of that. And I think one thing which will really help you out is daily answer writing, because if we leave answer writing to say a weekend or a fortnight or a month end, then you will not be able to consistently improve it. So I'm really sorry, my web page is reloading and reloading again, so there might be a bit of a gap after a couple of minutes. um, but I hope that I'm able to convey the point that I am talking about. I was telling you about practice, and answer writing practice is something which you need to do on a daily basis. What that does is, every day if you're facing a question, you will be able to see कि how you are able to respond. कई बार आप खुद भी अपने आंसर को इवेल्युएट कर सकते हैं. If you are writing an answer and you check it after 2 days, you will see for yourself that what are the different parts that you missed on it, what are the different parts that you could include on it. So apart from daily answer writing, what would really help is joining a test series. I also joined a test series 6 8 months before my actual exam, both for prelims and mains. And what that did was, it helped me consolidate my preparation. जैसा मैं आपको शुरू में बता रही थी कि वी वेट फॉर द एंड मोमेंट, कि जब सब हो जाएगा तब मैं कोई टेस्ट सीरीज ज्वाइन करूंगा या करूंगी. लेकिन that the good part about test series is that it also helps you consolidate your preparation. Say for example, आपको पता है कि in the next 15 days you have to face a test of polity. So in those 15 days जो आप final preparation करेंगे polity की, you will be able to cover a lot which you would maybe आपने आपको एक महीना लगता, 2 महीना लगता, you will be able to cover that quickly in say 20 25 days of that time. So it will help you consolidate the entire information, entire knowledge, and you'll be able to face the test. And test series se another thing that happens is you get a feedback, and that feedback, getting a regular feedback and being able to improve upon that feedback. Yes. So getting that feedback from the test series, whenever you get it evaluated, it will really help you to improve the entire performance of your test. And आपको कई बार अलग-अलग remarks मिलेंगे. So it's always better to bleed in peace. That's what we say, instead of bleeding in the war. So the examination is our battlefield, and we need to practice. We need to no matter how many mistakes we want to make, you should be making it at the time of your practice. So don't fear practice, and joining a test series definitely helps, because it, as I told you, that it consolidates your entire preparation, your entire knowledge. And apart from that, current affairs is something which has become very important nowadays. If you look at the GS2 and GS3 question papers of the past 2 to 3 years of UPSC, you will find that a lot of that touches upon the current issues. So when you are being asked a question on current issue in in a UPSC paper, so you should be able to first understand the issue, एंड उसका बेसिक कोई स्टैटिक नॉलेज है वो भी आपको पता होना चाहिए. उसके बाद ही आप उसके करंट इशू पे कमेंट कर सकते हैं, और उसके बाद आगे यू कैन कमेंट अपॉन व्हाट कैन बी डन और समथिंग व्हाटएवर इज आस्क्ड. सो माय टेक ऑन दिस इज दैट reading the newspaper, following the current affairs, especially the editorial section, becomes very important. Here is where, if you can get a good compilation, any handout of, that will be really helpful. It will help you to revise. But still, I would recommend that you should be daily reading at least the editorial section of the newspaper, because if you look at the editorial, any editorial is written like an essay, or it's like an answer. It starts with an Yes. So any editorial is like just an essay or an answer where the author is trying to convince you about about their his own argument. So it starts with something, they give you facts, and then they give you multiple arguments of different sides. So that is why I say that reading an editorial for me personally, it really helped build my own answer writing style, because then I knew that what are the different kind of things that I should be adding so that it becomes much more convincing. And in UPSC, if you are going to give authenticity to your argument, you need to use data, you need to use things like supreme court judgments, you need to use references to the constitution of the country. तो ये सारी चीजें भी आपको साथ में लर्न कर लेनी चाहिए, जैसे कोई आर्टिकल है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, या हमारा डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी है, या हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स हैं, फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज हैं. दीज आर सम ऑफ द थिंग्स जो आप किसी भी आंसर में यू कैन जस्ट पिक अप, that this is a principle, yeah, this is a concept, this is something which is also included in the constitution. So that definitely gives an authenticity to that entire argument of yours. So I think this is some basic things which I wanted to talk to you about answer writing. Anshul sir, is there anything more which I should add before we take up the questions?
Unmute. I think there are so many people who are waiting for questions. You have already spoken enough about the answer writing, and now we'll take up certain questions. Or if you could please highlight something like your experience with the answer writing, how you started with that. Meanwhile, I'll just take up the questions and filter it to you.
Yes, like I told initially that answer writing was something which we all fear, because हमें लगता है कि अभी पूरा आता नहीं है तो नहीं लिखना है. But this is where actually Khan sir really supported, because he was very open and he's positive about whatever bad answers you write. So I think this mentorship really plays an important role in your entire confidence that you build in about answer writing. First is that I was initially bit this thing about starting answers, but daily answer writing really helped me. Over time, my the feedback that I was getting, or the marks that I was scoring started improving. So that sort of gives you a bit of confidence. So daily answer writing to karna hi hai. That is something helped me. And second that helped me was joining a test series early. I had joined, as I told, I had joined a test series say 6 to 8 months before the actual examination. So it gives you a good fair amount of time to reassess your strategy and reevaluate your strategy and change it if required. Maybe there are certain sections of the subjects which you feel that need more attention of yours. So the test series will help you to understand your strong points also and your weak points also. Maybe you are able to write very good in polity but not so good in sociological answers or social issues, or maybe you are able to write good in other GS 1 2 3, but ethics is something which is you are sort of not able to write. So the test series will help you to understand where exactly you are failing, so that you can push more efforts on that particular aspect of your preparation. So that way I think I got a good feedback. I was able to understand Sir, I think we would jump into questions. So, if there are any more points which the students would like to ask, I'll touch upon that.
Yes, surely. I think you have spoken a lot about the nuances related to the answer writing with your own experience, and you have also emphasized on the role of the test series. Like, I think there's an American general who said, the more you sweat in the war, the less
Yeah,
you bleed in
that's
the
what I was
combat.
referring to. I couldn't
But
properly
yeah,
frame it.
yes,
Yes.
I think that's very perfect. And now there are a lot of questions I'm just doing to, I'm just filtering out, and because since people have joined from other parts of India, like South India, Northeast India, so I'll read the question. If the question is in English, try to answer it in English. That's a request from my side. And
Sure,
if I
sir.
find question in Hindi, try to use that.
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल।
Okay, so first question that I think there are so many questions I have clubbed together. Don't worry, you all have asked a lot of questions. I'll try to be your representative, although we are in a representative democracy. So I'll try to do my best so that your questions will reach to Srushti ma'am. So the first question is the role of the test series you have mentioned. So they're asking, ma'am, how to identify that test series is good? Like which test series is to, what is the criteria, sort of
Yes.
what they want to ask us?
All right, so this is something very confusing. We have so many options, so obviously we are confused about which one to take. I would say that something which matches your schedule of preparation. Whatever जो भी timeline test series का है, it should also match your schedule. Say for example, आपने बिल्कुल कुछ शुरू ही नहीं किया है and you are yes, तो बिल्कुल आपने कुछ शुरू ही नहीं किया है and you're directly jumping into a test series, that is also not recommended. I would recommend कि अगर आपने अपना basic पूरा कर लिया है, if you have studied the basics of your subjects, then you can join a test series and it should it should be matching your schedule of preparation as well. Second thing, obviously the quality of questions being asked. You can sort of see what kind of quality of questions are being asked and third important thing to see is the feedback. How is the feedback you're going to get? Whether it is being evaluated, it will be sent it to you. Whether some teacher is going to be available to you so that you can ask your questions and it will be kind of a mentorship on that particular answer. These three criteria आप देख लीजिए and if it fits you, then you can sort of take up the test series.
बेसिक क्वेश्चन किसी ने पूछा है कि मैम हिंदी में प्रिपरेशन करना चाहिए इंग्लिश में, कुछ अंतर है इसमें, आपकी नजर में क्या है?
दिस इज़ अ वेरी कॉमन क्वेश्चन जो हम पहले से लेते आ रहे हैं और आई थिंक हमारे बहुत सारे हिंदी टॉपर्स हैं हु हैव बस्टेड दिस मिथ एंड ओवर द इयर्स रिसेंटली आल्सो इन दिस ईयर वी हैव ह्यूज टॉपर्स लाइक हाई रैंकिंग टॉपर्स फ्रॉम हिंदी. तो हिंदी या इंग्लिश का माध्यम आप उस क्राइटेरिया से चुनिए कि आप उसमें कंफर्टेबल हैं या नहीं. अगर आपने पढ़ाई अपनी हिंदी में पूरी की है और आपको लगता है कि आप अपना कोई भी उत्तर हिंदी में बेहतर तरीके से लिख सकते हैं या फिर आपकी आगे की पढ़ाई भी आप हिंदी में कर रहे हैं तो आप हिंदी को चुनिए. हिंदी या इंग्लिश में माध्यम चुनने का यूपीएससी सिलेक्शन से इतना कनेक्शन नहीं है. मुझे लगता है पहले जो कंटेंट का प्रॉब्लम था, अब कंटेंट भी हमारा हिंदी में काफ़ी अवेलेबल हो जाता है. यस, तो कंटेंट भी हमें हिंदी में अवेलेबल हो जाता है. इस कारण से इट्स ऑल अबाउट यू. आपको चुनना है. अगर आपकी पढ़ाई वहाँ से हुई है तो आप बिल्कुल हिंदी माध्यम चुन सकते हैं.
देयर इज वन क्वेश्चन जो बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का आ रहा है कि मैम व्हेन वी ट्राई टू स्टार्ट टू राइट द आंसर वी फील हाउ टू स्टार्ट राइटर्स ब्लॉक. सो इसको कैसे डील करना चाहिए? इनिशिएशन, द जर्नी ऑफ 1,000 स्टेप्स स्टार्ट्स विद द फर्स्ट स्टेप. सो दैट फर्स्ट स्टेप बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. हाउ टू डील विद दैट? आपने कैसे किया? आप उस पर थोड़ा सा लाइट.
आई हैड आल्सो यूज्ड दैट वर्ड राइटर्स ब्लॉक क्योंकि वो हम बिल्कुल फेस करते हैं, हर एस्पिरेंट फेस करता है. एंड बस वही है उसके लिए कि फर्स्ट थिंग, एक बार आपने अगर टॉपिक पढ़ लिया है तो प्लीज स्टार्ट राइटिंग. अब स्टार्ट राइटिंग में क्या है, पहले अपना स्ट्रक्चर नोट कर लिया हमने कि इंट्रो, बॉडी, कंक्लूजन तो हमें लिखना ही है. दूसरी चीज मैंने आपको ये बताई कि आप कोई बैकग्राउंड थीम पकड़िए उस क्वेश्चन का कि बेसिकली बैकग्राउंड में क्या थीम है. क्या वो सोशल इशू के बारे में बात कर रहा है, क्या वो हमारे जैसे GS3 में है तो टेररिज्म के बारे में बात कर रहा है, सिक्योरिटी इशू की बात कर रहा है. कोई ब्रॉड थीम उठा करके स्टार्ट बाय टचिंग अपॉन दैट ब्रॉड थीम. You can define that concept or you can give a background information whatever you have in the introduction. उसके बाद in the structure you jump directly to the command word. आपको अलग अलग command words दिए जाते हैं like explain, evaluate, describe, distinguish. So directly jump to that command word and make sure that you are answering each and every part of the question. ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. कई बार क्वेश्चन 3 से 4 पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड होता है तो कोई भी पार्ट को मिस नहीं करना है. इसीलिए when you are reading the question, read it twice and Yes, so when you are reading the question, read it twice and underline the command words. उससे आपको मेमोरी में रहेगा कि this is something which I have to touch. तो अलग अलग पार्ट्स हमने स्ट्रक्चर में टच किए और उसके बाद फिर हमने एक अप्रोप्रिएट कंक्लूजन उसको दिया. तो राइटर्स ब्लॉक को ओवरकम करने के लिए यू हैव टू पिक अप द स्ट्रक्चर. एक बार स्ट्रक्चर आपके दिमाग में आपके उसमें आ गया that you know this is how I'm going to proceed, it will be easier for you to start.
Thank you. There is one question. I'm clubbing two. A boy has asked that, Madam, there are certain questions in history, especially. So, how to write their conclusion in a sort of forward-looking way, and how you dealt with your sociology answer? Are they different with your GS answers, or you applied the same approach?
Yes, so first things is about history. So history का जो आंसर है उसका forward looking, now that definitely depends upon the context of the question. अगर आपको केवल nationalist movement के बारे में पूछा है और आपको पूछा है कि how say for example चौरी चौरा incident हुआ, how that incident impacted the you know the movement and how the different leaders were involved, I think इसमें कोई forward looking देने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. So that's a purely historical question. They are only asking you about the event and the impact it had on the nationalist movement. But say for example उस question में ऐसा कुछ लिखा है कि the values of Gandhi ji या the values of Indian national movement, how they are relevant today. या फिर how do you think that the war situation which is going on in you know in the international events, how do you think the World War II can be. Yes, तो अगर आपको ये पूछा है कि how the current war situation can be compared to say the World War II situation. So I'm just giving an example that अगर आपको कोई current context के रूप में कोई current orientation का कीवर्ड या ऐसा कुछ लैंग्वेज अगर यूज की है तभी आप उसको फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग या फिर करंट ओरिएंटेड कोई पर्सपेक्टिव दीजिए. अदरवाइज अ हिस्ट्री क्वेश्चन कैन बी यू नो कंक्लूडेड इन अ प्योरली event manner whatever it is asked. The second part, the question which was asked is sociology, how that differs from the GS1 answer, which is the social issue part. So definitely there is a difference, and social issues is, since it is asked in general studies, you are not expected to you know in depth about the definitions or who gave that concept or how exactly it impacts. You know, I mean different things that we study in sociology. A very generalistic understanding about a social issue and its impact on different categories of the sections of the society is enough. But when it comes to sociology, we study the thinkers who gave the concept. We study how the concept was actually in what context that particular concept came. Like we read Marx and we read how the Industrial Revolution was a context of his theory. So these are things which you study in socio, and that socio answer will definitely need a thinker. It will need more examples. It will need more of a multi-dimensional perspective. So definitely there is a difference in your socio and social issues. But yes, if you have read sociology, there will be certain extra points which you will know. But keyword general points you can include in your GS answer. Specifically thinkers and all doesn't have to be written in the.
Fair enough. I think one more question, what I am receiving from multiple sources is about NCRTs. NCRTs, the question is from NCRTs, like NCRTs one should do first or directly jump to the reference books. And there is one personal question also to you, like did you read the NCRTs or you have certain gist of some material, like how did you opened up your foundational block of your preparation?
I think that NCRTs are a very important foundational block, which you, the word you use, sir, बहुत important है NCRTs. Even if say for example आप arts के student हो और आपको लगेगा कि मैंने 11th 12th में तो history, geography, economics ही पढ़ा है या फिर लेकिन फिर भी और स्पेशली अगर साइंस स्टूडेंट है तो दे वुड हैव रेड फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ्स, दे वुड हैव लेफ्ट द हिस्ट्री सिविक्स ज्योग्राफी इन 10th itself. So no matter what student you have been, I would really recommend that you go through your NCRTs 6 to 12th and दिस इंक्लूड सब्जेक्ट्स लाइक ज्योग्राफी, इकोनॉमिक्स, जो भी सब्जेक्ट्स आपके सोशल स्टडीज़ के हैं, दैट यू डेफिनेटली नीड टू गो थ्रू. दिस इज़ बिकॉज फर्स्ट इट गिव्स यू अ सॉर्ट ऑफ एक ओरिएंटेशन आपको मिलता है कि क्या एग्जैक्टली यूपीएससी के आगे के फैक्ट्स या आगे की चीज़ें प्रिपरेशन रहेंगी. तो वेरी बेसिक थिंग्स लाइक व्हाट इज़ अ लावा, व्हाट इज़ मैग्मा, this is very important to understand. What is participative democracy, representative democracy? These are concepts which are very nicely explained in NCRTs and at a very high level in 11th 12th as well. So I would recommend you definitely take out some time, initial time of yours for NCRT, and only then you touch your reference books, because आपका कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर रहेगा तो उसके ऊपर जब आप रेफरेंस बुक पढ़ेंगे या उसके ऊपर जब आप करंट अफेयर्स पढ़ेंगे तो आप ज़्यादा अच्छे से अपने पूरे कॉन्सेप्ट. यस, आई वाज सेइंग कि अगर आप एनसीईआरटी अच्छे से पढ़ते हैं तो आप जो रेफरेंस बुक में पढ़ेंगे और करंट अफेयर्स में पढ़ेंगे उसको ज़्यादा अच्छे से आप एब्जॉर्ब कर पाएंगे. तो एनसीईआरटी ज़रूर पढ़ें.
I think sometimes even UPSC is asking verbatim questions from NCRTs, तो उसको इसलिए
एब्सोल्युटली.
आप छोड़ नहीं सकते हैं. One more question is related to how you manage, since you prepare your preparation when you have started, you were doing your engineering studies. So, does it very difficult for anyone, or is it manageable? ये हो जाता है, लोग कर पाते हैं. और आपने कैसे किया कॉलेज के साथ? क्या
यस.
अर्ली स्टार्ट आपको मदद किया? इट इज एविडेंट फ्रॉम द रिजल्ट, यू केम इन द फ्लाइंग कलर इन द फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट ओनली, तो आपको तो मदद किया है. लेकिन कैसे आपने मैनेज किया, क्योंकि मुश्किल तो होता है. प्लीज उस पे
यस,
आप थोड़ा लाइट.
बिल्कुल. दिस इज समथिंग विच हम लोग जब पढ़ रहे होते हैं तो ये बहुत सारे डाउट्स हमारे होते हैं कि हो पाएगा क्या. तो हो पाएगा क्या वाला डाउट इज गोइंग टू बी देयर नो मैटर इफ यू आर स्टडीइंग इन कॉलेज, नो मैटर यू हैव अ जॉब, नो मैटर यू हैव लेफ्ट द जॉब. सो यू नो उसके लिए एक चीज़ है दैट यू हैव टू बी योर बिगेस्ट कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डर. यू हैव टू बी द पर्सन टू बैक योर सेल्फ. अगर आपने एक बार सोच लिया है कि मुझे यूपीएससी की एग्जाम देनी है तो भाई देनी है और कॉन्फिडेंटली देनी है. और दूसरी चीज़, अगर आप सोचते हैं कि हम कैसे करें तो अगर आप जैसे आई पर्सनली डिड इट विद कॉलेज. माई आई prepared along with my college in third and fourth year, and it was difficult because आपको कॉलेज भी अटेंड करना है, शाम को आके आपको क्लासेस या फिर रिविजन भी करना है, एंड आपके कॉलेज के भी टेस्ट, मिड सेम्स एंड सेमेस्टर एग्जाम्स रहे. आपके कॉलेज और जॉब के साथ मैनेज करने के लिए मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज टाइम मैनेजमेंट. यू शुड बी एबल टू चक योर टाइम इनटू स्पेसिफिक चंक्स. आप मान के चलिए जैसे व्हाट आई यूज्ड टू डू व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू ट्रैवल टू कॉलेज, आई यूज्ड टू टेक अराउंड 45 minutes to 1 hour. So I used to utilize that time daily, morning and evening, for reading the newspaper, because that is something you can just leisurely read and you don't need as much amount of focus or concentration or that for just reading through. तो आई यूज टू यूज दैट टाइम फॉर रीडिंग द न्यूज़पेपर. तो इस प्रकार से आपको हर दिन में कहीं ना कहीं यू हैव टू टेक आउट टाइम. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट अनदर चंक ऑफ 2 to 3 hours per day, if you are able to take out every single day, that will be sufficient initially. धीरे धीरे आप उन आवर्स को बढ़ा के 4 to 5 कर सकते हैं एज एंड व्हेन रिक्वायर्ड अबाउट योर सिलेबस. बट मैनेजिंग योर टाइम विल बी क्रूशियल. एंड weekends you should be able to completely, matlab Saturday Sunday, if you're getting off or if you're getting off from your college or office, you should be able to squeeze that time completely in consolidating whatever you have read through the week. Revision is something which is very important, and whether you're preparing otherwise as a full time aspirant or whether you're preparing with a job or college, revision is very crucial. So आपको जो भी weekends off मिलते हैं या फिर कुछ holidays मिलते हैं, utilize that time for revising whatever you have read through. And टाइम को ही मैनेज करना सबसे ज़रूरी होता है. जैसे मेरे अगर कॉलेज के एग्जाम्स आते थे तो आई यूज टू लीव टू 1 or 2 2 to 3 weeks फॉर दैट प्रिपरेशन. एंड last 2 3 weeks obviously I was not able to touch upon my UPSC syllabus, but as soon as my exams were over I used to again switch back to my UPSC preparation. But something which I would recommend is don't leave the newspaper. आप चाहे कितना भी बिजी हो, कहीं पे भी कुछ don't leave reading the newspaper, because it's like a good link in your entire preparation, and it will make sure that your orientation, your mindset, कहीं ना कहीं आपके दिमाग में वो जनरल स्टडीज की चीज़ें चलती रहेंगी. So don't miss on the newspaper, but manage your time properly. And I did that like that. मेरा जो final exam था prelims का, उसमें और मेरे college के last semester exam में 20 days का difference था. तो आई वॉज एबल टू डू इट बिकॉज ओवरऑल पूरे ही टाइम में मैंने यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन की. और ऑब्वियसली सेमेस्टर एग्जाम्स के टाइम पे आई हैड टू लीव इट. आफ्टर दैट अगेन आई गॉट बैक, and that is where revision, that is where the tests, that is where the feedback will really help you out.
I think very insightful suggestion you have given. Planning और आपको समय से समय चुराना होगा, शायद ये मैडम ने कहा है. इन शॉर्ट एक और क्वेश्चन जो बहुत सारे लोगों का कंपाइल करके कर रहे हैं, वो मैम करंट अफेयर्स पे है. Current affairs remains the cynosure of the public attention. Everybody is very concerned कैसे करना है. Some students from Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra, even Karnataka में यहाँ लिखा है कि हमारे जगह छोटा है, यहाँ पे we are not getting the Hindu newspaper. तो हम क्या करें? If we are not getting the hard copy of the newspaper, first thing that, and should we make copious notes out of the newspaper for the current affairs, or any magazine will suffice? So 3 questions in total.
Right. सबसे पहले तो the good part about the internet, that I'm able to speak to all of you from Burhanpur, is this, knowledge has become so much accessible for us, and that is what helped me as well. I Yes, I was telling I studied from Bhopal. I didn't go to Delhi. So आप बिल्कुल ये मान करके चलिए, no matter where you are, no matter how small your place is, if you are able to hear me today, you have access to all the kind of knowledge that you require for cracking this exam. So especially when it comes to current affairs, even if you're not able to have a Hindu या Indian Express आपके घर पे deliver नहीं हो पा रहा है, मेरे यहाँ पे एक दिन लेट होता था भोपाल में. I used to read a day late Hindu. Even if that is not possible, you just join the, just take the digital edition of the newspaper, or any newspaper for that matter. Both Indian Express, Hindu are good newspapers, and read them properly, thoroughly. Second thing about making notes, तो I would recommend कि जैसा मैं पहले भी बोल रही थी, I would recommend read the editorials yourself. What happens is the editorial really gives you a flow कि how an article should be, how an essay should be, how an answer should be, and it helps you connect the different dots. कई बार अगर आप उसके केवल notes पढ़ते हैं तो you're not able to understand the background information. So I would recommend that editorials you should be reading personally yourself from the newspaper, and जो additional facts हैं of the day, there is other news, obviously there are other facts, headlines which are going on, that you can cover up from any compilation of the current affairs that you get at the end of the month. So when you're doing the editorials daily, you will not miss any link of any important event. And at the end of the month, it can be like a revision of yours कि जो भी आपने पढ़ा है, कोई चीज़ हो सकता है आपकी मिस हो गई हो या किसी न्यूज़पेपर में कवर नहीं हुई हो, but still it is important that you will be able to cover from that handout or from that compilation. So and this is about reading. Third thing about making Third thing about making notes out of that, I initially used to make notes out of the editorial section only. As I told you कि editorial I used to read personally, तो अगर मुझे लगता था कि कोई particular argument या फिर कोई data point, कोई something which I feel would really add some extra factor to my answer, I used to note it down separately. So that was, I was able to make my own data bank, और वो उस data bank ने मुझे actual answer writing में बहुत सारे points दिए. तो हर हर किसी का अपना एक अपना अलग आउटलुक होता है. कई लोग खुद नोट्स बनाते हैं, कई लोग नहीं भी बनाते हैं. इट्स अप टू यू. But my strategy was that I used to read the editorials and I used to note down important points out of it, and I used to use those points in actual answer writing.
A girl has asked a question, Madam, should I read SBR और NCRTs या दोनों को मिक्स करके पढ़ना चाहिए? स्कूल बुक रीडर, हैव यू गॉन थ्रू इट? आपने पढ़ा था?
Yes, I have read the school book read up, so you can definitely rely on the school book read up. That is, there's not an issue at all. I would also say कि just go through the NCRT once, or school book read up can be like a revision for you.
Okay. There is one more test, like prelims has become so much dynamic. So should we practice daily test? हमको डेली टेस्ट करना चाहिए या ऐसा कुछ इंस्टीट्यूशन हो जहाँ पे डेली टेस्ट हो रहा हो तो would it help or should we start our prelims preparation from January only we start doing some mocks or daily test will suffice actually?
Yes, prelims is something we didn't talk about. तो अगर आपको मेंस देना है, आपको prelims तो क्रैक करना ही पड़ेगा. And if you look at the amount, the kind of questions that are being asked, it is definitely evolving. So prelims is as important because if you don't crack prelims, you'll not be eligible to write whatever answers that you've practiced for. So definitely here also an early start helps you. What I would say is कि while you are preparing, along with that, आप कुछ five आजकल बहुत सारे online websites हैं. They give you questions daily. You can attempt those questions and you can see daily current affairs पे questions. You can do that. But a test series will really help you because prelims may also you there's a knack of say whether or not to attempt that question. Say I'm able to guess it till 70-80% पर मैं attempt करूँ कि नहीं करूँ, क्या मुझे उतना knowledge है, क्या मेरा कोई particular subject या topic में बहुत gap हो रहा है. तो ऐसे अगर हमें पता करना है, that only you will be able to understand through practice. So I would not say कि you should wait for January because nowadays prelims has become very dicey. The questions are very different, and in order to crack it with surety, I think you should start early. And joining a test series at this point of time where we are speaking, say we have November, December in our hand of this year, you can definitely start now, and that will really give you a head start. और प्रीलिम्स टेस्ट सीरीज उतनी ही ज़रूरी है. अगर एक फोर्टनाइट में एक टेस्ट या एक वीक में एक टेस्ट आप ले पा रहे हैं, दैट इज सफिशिएंट. बट देयर इज वन मोर थिंग आई से कि प्रीलिम्स के टेस्ट सीरीज में जितना टाइम आप पेपर अटेम्प्ट करने में दे रहे हो, उससे डबल टाइम आप उसके एनालिसिस में ज़रूर दो. डोंट मिस आउट ऑन द एनालिसिस ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस दैट यू ऑलरेडी अटेम्प्टेड. Don't think कि I have attempted 100 questions means I know 100 questions. No. 100 into 2, there will be 200, 300 concepts which are there in each and every question. So giving yourself time. Yes. So giving yourself time to analyze whatever you have attempted is very crucial. Or prelims में there is something called as negative marking and it really affects your score. So what I would recommend is कि जितने भी questions आप गलत कर रहे हैं, at the end of your test you should be able to analyze कि why did I do it wrong. Whether it was that I did not know the concept, whether it was that I knew the concept but I couldn't apply it, whether I made a wild guess, or whether I did not read the question correctly. Categorize why you are making a mistake. When you are able to categorize your mistakes, आप बहुत अच्छे से उस पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी पे वर्क कर सकते हो, है ना. और आपको ये भी पता चलेगा कि हो सकता है आपका कोई सब्जेक्ट वीक है जिसके क्वेश्चंस आप बार बार गलत कर रहे हैं. तो दैट विल गिव यू अ काइंड ऑफ कोर्स करेक्शन आप कर पाएंगे. तो इसलिए अटेम्प्टिंग टेस्ट एंड अटेम्प्टिंग क्वेश्चंस इज वेरी क्रूशियल फॉर प्रीलिम्स.
There is one more question, which is saying that, Madam, during your preparation stage, what was your routine? Number one. And number two, like whenever you are studying after your class or what, did you give all the tests like POD or CIWPs जो होते थे, आप देते थे उसको? Honestly, this is a very personal question, I think.
Oh, honestly, I used to give, and इसके अलावा भी मैंने टेस्ट सीरीज ज्वाइन की हुई थी. आई हैव रिटन सो मेनी आंसर्स एंड दिस एंड आई हैव रिटन दैट इन फियर. एक्चुअली मुझे हमेशा डर रहता था क्योंकि मैं भोपाल से प्रिपेयर कर रही हूँ, तो ऐसा कुछ ना हो जो मैं मिस आउट कर जाऊँ, या फिर इट शुड नॉट बी समथिंग कि विच अदर एस्पिरेंट्स आर डूइंग एंड आई एम नॉट डूइंग. सो दैट एक्ट ऑफ अटेम्प्टिंग मोर. Yes, so that act of attempting more and more questions, writing the test series was in desperation, but it eventually helped me out. It eventually made my score better, it made my score good, it improved my chances of selection. So definitely आपको कई बार overwhelming लगेगा. You will feel that अभी तो मैंने टेस्ट दिया था, फिर 10 दिन बाद मैं कैसे इसको प्रिपेयर कर पाऊंगी. This schedule is very very grueling. तो हम कहते हैं कि यूपीएससी इज लाइक अ मैराथन, बट एवरी डे इज अ स्प्रिंट. तो हर दिन आपको एक रेस भागनी है और सारा रेस मिला के भी एक मैराथन है. तो इट इज़ वेरी ग्रोअलिंग, इट इज़ वेरी टायरिंग, लेकिन यू हैव टू बी ऑन इट. हो सकता है आपको एक दो दिन आप बीमार हो गए, आप नहीं कर पाए, बट अदर देन दैट प्लीज़ मेक श्योर, no matter you are writing less, no matter you are writing bad, but please keep doing it. It's only with practice that you'll be able to improve, and I have been able to see that in my own journey. So I would say that whether it is POD or whether it is any other test that you have joined some test series, please continue, don't miss a test. Even if you get 50 marks, or even if you get 40 marks out of 250 marks, you should not be discouraged. You should continue writing that test. Every test is an opportunity to improve, and it definitely gives you a kind of a head in comparison to other aspirants.
One more question related to CSAT. It is nowadays, as per aspirants' observation, becoming tougher. So it doesn't mean you go with the same strategy. So how should one reorient towards the CSAT? What to deal with the CSAT? CSAT से कैसे करना है? वो एक question और आ रहा है CSAT पर. उस पे आप please if you can put some light.
The CSAT part is getting tougher. This is true, I guess. Even when we compare the paper from what we gave in 2018 to what came last year or this year. So, इसका पहली चीज़ तो ये है कि not to ignore at all. Even if say you have been an engineering student, or if you have been somebody who is good with numbers, you should not ignore the part of CSAT. CSAT is not just about numbers, it's also about language comprehension. तो उसके जो मल्टीपल पार्ट्स हैं, आप सी सैट को खुद सॉल्व करके आपको देखना है, एंड यू कैन डू इट से वंस इन 15 days, दैट विल सफाइस. आई ऑलवेज से कि आपको एक हफ्ते में एक ऐसे लिख लेना चाहिए, और हर 15 दिन में एक सी सैट का पेपर लगा लेना चाहिए. एंड दैट मे बी हो सकता है आप पूरा पेपर ना लगा रहे हो, लेकिन प्लीज सी द क्वेश्चन पेपर योर सेल्फ. से अगर आपको यू आर डूइंग इंग्लिश, जस्ट टेक अप दैट इंग्लिश पार्ट and try to attempt the comprehension questions, see how you are doing in them, and try to identify your strength. See, a good part about CSAT it is that it is qualifying. It is not, इसका स्कोर आपके फाइनल स्कोर में जुड़ने वाला नहीं है. तो इफ़ यू आइडेंटिफाई योर स्ट्रेंथ्स, एंड आप वही क्वेश्चन, उसी प्रकार के उसी टाइप के क्वेश्चन अगर आप मेन एग्जाम में अटेम्प्ट करते हैं और आप डिसेंटली क्वालिफाइंग मार्क्स ले आते हैं, तो दैट इज इनफ फॉर यू इन सी सैट. सो दैट्स वाई pre-preparation of CSAT is important. Don't wait for the month of March or April की last month में मैं CSAT के question solve करूँगा. अभी से within once in 15 days you can attempt questions. उसके लिए भी if you feel कि अगर आप आर्ट्स बैकग्राउंड से हैं, या फिर you fear कि I will not be able to do it, तो अभी there is time with you. आपके पास टाइम है, आप उसको improve कर सकते हैं.
Couple of questions we'll take, then we'll probably sign off this webinar. The first question which I am clubbing is related to ethics, and especially like the paper 4, since the paper 4, the strategy of the ethics, how did you score so well in ethics? You scored 124 marks in ethics, and that year it was highest. So my point here is that many students are asking, Madam, ethics has become something which we can say mark fetcher. You can gain marks from ethics. तो आपने ethics को कैसे पढ़ा? और अभी जो कई बार they have seen toppers saying that in ethics we need to write about the examples of certain good officers or their sort of their works, what they have done. So what do you think about that? Ethics में आपने कैसे डील किया, और कैसे कलेक्शन करना चाहिए कुछ केस स्टडीज का?
राइट। एथिक्स अपने आप में एक बहुत अलग सब्जेक्ट है। हो सकता है आपको बहुत ज़्यादा रेफरेंसेस उसके न्यूज़पेपर में भी ना मिलें, या आप जो स्टैटिक बुक्स पढ़ते हैं, एनसीईआरटी पढ़ के, आपको कोई रेफरेंस एथिक्स के कॉन्सेप्ट्स का बहुत कम मिलेगा। तो ethics का preparation is very different. Let's understand that ethics paper is divided into two parts. The first part of that is the theoretical part, the where you're being asked questions of 10 markers, and आपको बहुत सारे जो आपके concepts हैं उसके definitions पूछे जाते हैं. Another second part which they ask to us is quotations. They give you a quotation and they will tell you to explain it, or they will tell you to open it up in your own words. And the third part of the ethics paper is your case study, where you are given a situation. And in the third part of your ethics thing, you have to explain that what will you do in that particular situation and what are the options that you have. So while preparing for ethics, first things first, read the syllabus very properly. Try and understand the different concepts, different parts, different things, topics which they want you to touch. And इनिशियली व्हाट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट इज़ कि बहुत सारे हमारे कुछ क्वालिटीज़ ऑफ अ सिविल सर्वेंट होते हैं, से फॉर एग्जांपल इंटेग्रिटी, emotional intelligence, empathy, so many different concepts are there. Try and learn the definition of those concepts. And while you are learning the definitions, try and see the real life examples that you can see around you. कोई बहुत सारे हमारे हिस्टोरिकल एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, जैसे एम्पथी का एक क्लासिक एग्जाम्पल मदर टेरेसा है हमारे कंट्री में, या फिर इंटरनेशनल एग्जाम्पल्स आपको मिलते हैं. Just think about those things and try and note it down in your notes. And so first thing is understanding the theory of ethics. आप पहले उन कॉन्सेप्ट्स को रीड करिए, कॉन्सेप्ट्स को डिफाइन करिए और उनके एग्जाम्पल्स पे थिंक करिए. जैसे पूछ रहे थे हम सोर्सेस किसको कोट करना है किसको नहीं कोट करना है. आई थिंक दैट हमारे अगर कोई गवर्नमेंट का डॉक्यूमेंट है, जैसे हियर देर इज अ, आई एम फॉरगेटिंग द नेम ऑफ द डॉक्यूमेंट, बट इट इज अवेलेबल ऑन द नीति आयोग वेबसाइट. So it is like a compilation of good practices that the civil servants have done in the entire country. So that is a good authentic document of the government itself. So वहाँ से आप पिक कर सकते हैं बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स कि अलग अलग सिविल सर्वेंट्स ने अलग अलग स्टेट्स में व्हाट इनिशिएटिव्स दे हैव टेकन. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यू विल हैव द सिविल सर्विस अवार्ड एवरी ईयर. यू हैव द इंटरनेशनल सिविल सर्विस अवार्ड विच इज़ गिवन बाय द यूनाइटेड नेशंस. ऐसे कुछ ऑथेंटिक अगर अवार्डीज हैं तो इन सिविल सर्वेंट्स को आप अपने आंसर्स में कोट.
आई थिंक जो मैम कह रही हैं मैं उसको समराइज कर दूं वो चीज को कि नीति आयोग पब्लिशेस अ बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस जो मैडम कह रही हैं, और देर आर सर्टेन प्रोग्राम लॉन्च्ड इन 2018 एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रोग्राम. सो देर इज अ पोर्टल देयर, चैंपियंस ऑफ चेंज. So there you can see the best practices, what madam is saying. Champions of Change portal, to be best of my knowledge, I think that is what she is referring to. Now, I think last a few questions more, and then we'll wrap up. I am again saying this. Two questions I'm merging. First is related to revision, and obviously, when you're dealing with revision, you need to manage the time. And one student has repeatedly asked, like, Madam, we are using Honorable Supreme Court's some statement, some fact from data. So how can we precise there? हम उसको भूल सकते हैं. There are chances of we are missing out that. So is it necessary we use the exact expression or something like that they want to ask? Am I audible? You are not audible, I think. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Something I think because of network shadow, Madam is trying to reconnect. We are just awaiting for her response. See, I'm seeing a lot of question uh, still coming up, but we have to wrap up soon. So there is one more thing I should declare here. I think she has joined. Yeah.
There was some issue with my laptop, so I've joined by phone. I hope I'm audible, sir.
Yeah, you're totally audible. I must summarize the question again. I was asking that many students are asking about the revision. What should be the revision strategy, number one? And since we are talking about the revision, so time management comes into the picture. Number one, this question. A student has repeatedly asked that Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court's certain statements or the facts and datas, they are sometimes, do we need to exact same or we can twist something without changing the meaning, obviously?
With regard to the Supreme Court judgments, I think when if you're looking at somebody's view, if you're writing ki justice, honorable justice said this, and then you are writing something which you don't remember, or you are just writing the gist of it, that is incorrect. I would say if you are going to write the gist, then you can directly mention that the Supreme Court in this particular case has has explained something like this. That is okay if you give the gist, but do not use any name of any honorable justice and then write something which you might miss on some words. So if you're writing the gist, that is okay. Next thing was about revision, I guess. So as I said before, that revision is the key pillar. We are not robots, and we are bound to forget. So this is something कई बार हम सोचते हैं कि हमने पढ़ा था पर हम भूल गए. So that is bound to happen. If you read something today, you will not be able to remember it, say 2 months down the line or 4 months down the line when you have to give the exam. So here, what will play a good role is that you are able to revise your particular whatever you have read, and uske liye you can make a schedule. You can either do it at the weekend, and I think that is something जो आपको कर लेना चाहिए. Month end is a large time because within 30 days you have read so much you will not be able to revise it in one single day. तो अगर आप 7 days या 15 days के चंक में रिविजन करते हैं तो दैट विल बी गुड. एंड दिस इज वेयर अगेन your test will help you to revise also, because it makes you remember what you have read again. आप उसके questions attempt करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं आपका revision भी होता है. तो that is how you should schedule your revision.
Last question is two. I am just saying two questions clubbing. There are some requests from Karnataka. So they are saying, ma'am, can you speak in Kannada? I think I can't bank on that. But a question is, madam, will you please share something, some insight about the interview? And then we will wrap up. Like these are the two questions you want to take it.
But I'm in that learning stage only right now, and I'll not be able to converse fully in Kannada. I can do that in Marathi. That is my native language. But I am learning Kannada just for the sake of the question. And next, what was next, sir?
Next question was about your interview experience. Something, yeah, interview pe kuch aap tips bata sake. That's what
So,
I think the girl is asking.
Which is one of the most interesting parts of CSE examination. और हम जब प्रिपेयर कर रहे होते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि हम कौन सी हॉबी बताएंगे वहां पे जब हमसे पूछेंगे कि हम एक्स्ट्रा क्या करते थे. तो for this stage, I will say, if you are at this stage of attempting prelims, attempting mains, you can sort of keep away your interview worries. When you reach that stage of interview, you have read so much, you have been through so much, you've given so much of your time, your energy into that you are through the knowledge that is required for sitting in an interview. And after mains, you are going to get another 2 months, say 1.5 to 2 months you will get before you actually face the interview board. So that is a good chunk of time where you can prepare for the interview. My personal experience was also good, and I was very scared because that was my first ever interview. I had not sat in any job interview before, and so that was very scary for me. And that is why I also gave a lot of mock interviews. So the mock interviews helped me to judge my preparation, how I was doing, and it helped. The feedback helped me to sort of improve on whatever I was lagging. What we generally do while preparing is you also see yourself in the mirror, so that will help you कि आपके expressions क्या हैं, whether you are scared, how you are sounding, and what gestures you are making by hand. So this is some things which we do while preparing interview, and that's a whole different thing. I would say should first focus on cracking the prelims and mains, and then you're capable enough to tackle the interview.
I think we have taken a lot of questions. Many questions have matched. Uh, so I hope I tried to do justice with your questions. But if you have more questions, you can reach out to us through our website, through everything. We are more than helpful to help you there. And one thing I have learned today with the Srushti ma'am is like, even after so many problems of internet and all that, she came back with the same track. So it is her unwavering or sort of attitude which has helped her to be here. कितना भी कुछ हो जाए वो reverse होके वहीं पे yes, now NCRT, yes, now ethics. That's very nice of you, ma'am.
That is
After being a lot of hiccups, we have
but
been.
I would thank all the aspirants also that they actually they have bared me through this entire space where I was going out and on and on and off. But I hope that whatever 1 hour interaction that we've had, I've been able to give you some pinpointers for your preparation. I wish all the aspirants all the very best to you. Do great. And सब कुछ आपके कॉन्फिडेंस का खेल है, and it's all about how you push yourself, how you encourage yourself, how you surround yourself with people that support you. So don't let anything take you down. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much to Khan sir for giving me this opportunity to interact with aspirants. That's always my pleasure. And thank you so much, Anshul sir, for being so patient and gracious. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, all the aspirants, those who are giving prelims this year. Uh, as ma'am has spoken about the test series, KSG has also launched a very wonderful navigator test series. It is on 10th of November. The syllabus and everything, which is well drafted by under the able guidance of Dr. Khan sir, it is available. Please go through it. And all the best. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. God bless you all. Jai Hind.